Today we're plunging into something, well, truly bizarre and frankly pretty disturbing from the sources. We're looking at SCP-002. It's often called the living room growth, which gives you a clue.
Yeah, and our mission today really is to unpack this thing. It looks like a room, but it's biological, it's alive. We need to understand how it works, this conversion process. It's really explosive origin story from the Mulhausen report, and the extreme measures taken just to keep it locked up.
And the classification alone tells you a lot. It's Euclid. Now, for you listening, Euclid basically means they know where it is. They can mostly keep it contained, but predicting its behavior, forget it. It's fundamentally unpredictable.
Exactly. So containment is this constant, ongoing effort. And the initial description itself is a paradox. You've got this huge, fleshy, tumor-like mass, maybe 60 cubic meters?
Oh,
What's that like?
Over 2,000 square feet, yeah. Huge.
Right. Massive, pulsing, biological. But to get inside, there's this iron valve hatch on the outside, and it opens into what looks like a normal, maybe a bit run-down apartment. Not a cave or anything organic looking inside at first glance.
It's completely counterintuitive, and the source material really asks the core question: how does an organization like this end up housing essentially a room where the furniture, the sofa, the rug, everything is made from human remains?
It's genuinely horrific, and there's one more detail from the overview that just sticks with me. Inside this apartment, there's a window, but you can only see it from the inside. It doesn't look out onto anything real. It suggests this thing is trying to perfectly mimic a human space, even while it's just floating in a containment vault.
Okay, let's dig into the anatomy of this living room, because the biological side is where it gets incredibly complex and disturbing. You might glance in and see, a table, a chair. Seems normal.
But it's not. The sources say if you look closely, the furniture is actually sculpted bone, woven human hair, other biological materials the body produces. It's not just generic flesh. It's like biological architecture.
And the analysis, the DNA testing, that's where it gets even weirder. Everything they tested in there, the TV, a beanbag chair, whatever, it shows different fragmented DNA sequences.
Right. Multiple individuals. It's not just that it ate someone. It's
Yeah.
like it's harvested distinct biological signatures and used them to build specific items. It's literally furnishing its room piece by piece with its victims.
And the sources are very specific about how it gets these materials. It's not passive. They tried introducing dead bodies, lab animals, even primates. Nothing. No reaction from SCP-002.
It needs living humans. Only living people trigger this conversion process.
Which really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why living? Does it need consciousness? Some kind of energy only present in life?
Or is it just a specific biological reaction that stops at death? The reports just state a living subject is required. It suggests it's not just feeding, it's some kind of active, complex assimilation process. Maybe needs that final neurological spark or something.
Yeah, like it's incredibly picky about its ingredients. And we know what it's collected while contained because the files mention 7 personnel disappearances linked directly to it.
The resulting inventory.
Uh-huh.
It's chillingly mundane. It's got 2 lamps, a throw rug, a TV, a radio, a beanbag chair,
Yeah.
4 kids' toys, 3 books in some language nobody recognizes, and a little potted plant.
Think about that. Security teams inventorying a room made of people, logging a TV made of, well, whatever it uses,
Yeah.
and then noting down children's toys. It's the attempt at domesticity, that normal-looking space, that makes the biological horror just so much worse.
Absolutely. Those toys, the unknown books.
Yeah.
It creates this profound sense of wrongness.
Right. And speaking of how dangerous this thing is, we have to cover how they found it. That story comes from the Mulhausen report document 00.023.603. And this is where, the first rules for dealing with it were essentially written in blood.
Yeah, that report is grim. It details the discovery and shows just how fast this thing can acquire people. Apparently, SCP-002 hit the Earth from orbit, crashed in northern Portugal. It was inside this thick rock shell which cracked open on impact, exposing the fleshy part.
So extraterrestrial origin confirmed right there, and a local farmer found it first, which drew attention. The organization got involved when a level 4 agent nearby picked up a small radioactive signature from it.
Which flagged it as unusual, obviously. So General Mulhausen took a collection team out there, and this is where things went sideways fast. They secured it, but then, without really knowing what they were dealing with, they did some initial tests.
Tests involving 3 men they recruited from the village nearby, sent them inside, one by one.
They just vanished. Gone.
That confirmed how deadly it was. And Mulhausen's reaction was extreme. The report says he immediately issued a Level 4A termination order for all witnesses. That was estimated to be about a third of the village.
Just to ensure secrecy. Think about that. A level 4A termination order. Wiping out maybe dozens, hundreds of civilians was deemed necessary. It shows the sheer panic and the perceived severity of this thing right from the start.
Unbelievable. And even then, it wasn't over. While they were getting ready to transport it, 4 of their own SCP security guys were somehow drawn inside. Poof, gone instantly.
And right after that, the object visibly changed. It grew new furniture, started looking like the apartment interior they describe now, its first documented growth spurt.
So the aftermath. The report says Mulhausen was terminated. You can guess why: the civilian deaths, losing his own men, the botched initial handling.
And the immediate result was a massive tightening of security around 000. Anyone below level 3, clearance, denied access, period. Unless you got approval from 2 level 4s.
Yeah. And denying level 3s, that's significant. Level 3 is usually pretty high-level security clearance. It means they decided even their standard security personnel, the ones who usually handle containment, couldn't be trusted near it. Too easily influenced, maybe?
That seems to be the implication. This history, the deaths, the Mulhausen incident, it leads directly into the containment protocols, which are just incredibly intense, almost paranoid.
Yeah.
And you can see why, given what happened, they reflect the danger they experienced firsthand.
Okay, so let's break down these protocols. They start with power, which seems odd for a biological thing. It has to be plugged in, connected to a power supply all the time in what they call recharging mode.
Yeah, which implies it needs a constant energy input just to exist. Or stay stable, maintain that complex structure maybe. And if the power does go out, the reaction is immediate and pretty violent. Emergency barriers slam shut, everyone evacuates the area, and they start blasting the containment zone with alternating bursts of X-ray and ultraviolet light until the power's back on and it's prefixed.
X-ray and UV.
Yeah.
That's aggressive. Why that specifically?
Well, the thinking seems to be it's a defense against uncontrolled growth. If it loses power, maybe it tries to expand or convert things rapidly. X-rays and UV are highly disruptive to biological processes, mutagenic even. The idea is probably to destabilize it, prevent any kind of biological action until they can get the power back on. Oh, and also, the whole area has to be kept at negative air pressure. Always.
Right. Negative pressure, standard for hazardous stuff, but here, maybe also to ensure if it, like, exhales spores or something biological, that airflow pulls it in away from everything else?
Could be, exactly. But the rules about personnel are maybe the most revealing, especially the ones about the perception hazard. Anyone working within 20 meters of it has to be in a team, minimum of 2 people.
And it's not just being near someone else. The rule says they have to maintain physical contact, touching each other the whole time.
Yeah. It's wild, isn't it? It's like organizational protocol demanding a literal human anchor. They state that being near SCP-002 can dull your perception, skew it, influence you somehow. So that physical touch is the check. Okay, you're still here, I'm still here, reality is still stable. It suggests the entity attacks your senses, your mind.
That physical contact rule, that really underscores the psychological threat, doesn't it? Not just the it eats you threat. And then there are the rules for high-level staff, the command staff. This part shows just how deep the suspicion runs.
This is maybe the most chilling protocol, yeah.
You bet.
If level 4 or higher personnel need access even with a waiver signed by 2 other level 4s who have to be off-site, they need an escort of at least 5 level 3 security guys. And here's the kicker. For the whole time they're near SCP-002, they have to temporarily surrender their rank and security clearance.
Wait, give up their rank just to go look at it?
Yeah.
That's extreme. It suggests the organization thinks being in command, having that authority, somehow makes you more vulnerable to whatever this thing does, like it compromises judgment.
That seems to be exactly the calculation. They're basically admitting their own leadership might be uniquely susceptible to its influence, that high clearance is a liability near this thing. And it doesn't stop there. After contact, the command staff member, who's technically rankless at this point, is taken at least 5 kilometers away. They undergo a 72-hour quarantine and a mandatory psych evaluation. Only after psych clears them do they get their rank and clearance back.
Wow, so it's a full institutional defense against, essentially, mental corruption spreading upwards through the ranks.
Precisely. It's about protecting the command structure itself from the object's influence.
Okay, so let's pull this together. What does this all mean for you, listening to this? The takeaways. We have this thing, probably from space, a biological growth that looks like an apartment inside. And it furnishes itself by converting living humans into furniture.
And all those intense containment rules, the power, the lights, the negative pressure, the mandatory hand-holding, the rank stripping for bosses, they're not just random paranoia. They're a direct result of catastrophic failures early on. The Mulhausen incident, the dead villagers, the lost security team.
Mhm.
The rules exist because they learned the hard way how dangerous this thing is, physically and mentally.
Right. So as we finish up this deep dive, here's the thought to leave you with. This object seems driven, compelled to create a very specific kind of space, a domestic one, an apartment, with children's toys, books in a language no one knows. If it just wants to consume people, why build a habitat? Why simulate a home so perfectly yet lethally? What kind of mind or instinct builds a living room out of its victims?